Alright, check this out. Back in 85, this dude, Andrew C. Thornton II, was flying around with a bunch of cocaine. But, get this, he accidentally drops it from his plane. And to make matters worse, when he tries to jump out with a duffel bag full of drugs, he smacks his head on the door and knocks himself out. He falls to his death and lands in Knoxville, Tennessee. Hey, welcome to Real Savant. We've got all the latest movie recaps and reviews, with some sweet commentary to boot. Come hang with us and level up your film game. Don't forget to like and share our stuff, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a review. This local detective, Bob, shows up, but get this. He realizes that the cocaine might be from some big shot drug dealer in St. Louis named Sid White. And get this, some of the coke is missing. Who the heck took it? So while all that crazy stuff was going down with Andrew and his flying drugs, a black bear in the Chattahoochee-Oconee National Forest had himself a little snack on some of that coke. And let me tell you, the bear was feeling pretty dang aggressive after that. He straight up attacked these two hikers, Elsa and Olaf, not the Frozen characters, mind you. And unfortunately, Elsa didn't make it. Now, over in Northeast Georgia, we got this middle schooler Dee Dee and her mom, Sari, who's a nurse. Dee Dee decides to ditch school with her buddy Henry and go paint a picture of the forest's waterfalls. Hey, you gotta appreciate a kid with some artistic talent, right? Dee Dee and Henry are out there in the woods trying to paint a pretty picture of some waterfalls, when all of a sudden, they stumble upon a whole frickin' brick of cocaine. And I guess they were feeling adventurous or something, because they decide to try some out. But then, wouldn't you know it, they get attacked by that same drugged up bear. Meanwhile, Dee Dee's mom, Sari, is out there with a park ranger named Liz and some wildlife activist named Peter. They're all searching for the kids, and finally find Henry clinging to a tree for dear life. But that bear ain't done yet, because it comes charging at them. And in the chaos, Peter falls right into a pile of cocaine, and poor Liz gets slashed in the process. Talk about a wild day in the woods. So that crazy bear is still out there, high as a kite on cocaine. And wouldn't you know it, he's now attracted to Peter because the dude fell into a whole pile of the stuff. Sadly, that bear ends up killing Peter, but for some reason, he leaves Henry alone. Dee Dee's mom, Sari, and Henry ain't sticking around to find out what the heck is going on with that bear. So they hightail it deeper into the forest. Meanwhile, Liz calls for some help because things are getting real crazy out there. Now, all the way over in St. Louis, this big shot drug dealer named Sid is getting antsy because he wants his dang cocaine back. So he sends this guy named David to go get it for him. But get this, David has to bring Sid's son, Eddie, along for the ride. Eddie's been super depressed ever since his wife died, and he's even ditched his own kid. Talk about a messed up family, am I right? So David and Eddie finally make it to Georgia, and wouldn't you know it, Bob is there too. It's like a big old party, except with a bunch of drugs and danger. Anyway, David gets into it with these three troublemakers called the Duchamps Gang. And one of them, named Stash, leads him and Eddie to a gazebo where he stashed some of the missing cocaine. Sounds like a real sketchy situation if you ask me. Meanwhile, Liz is still out there in the woods, being chased by that darned bear. And wouldn't you know it, she accidentally kills one of the Duchamps dudes named Ponytail. But that bear ain't messing around, cause it goes and slaughters the other guy, Vest. Talk about a gruesome way to go. So these paramedics, Beth and Tom, finally show up in the forest, ready to save the day. But wouldn't you know it, that dang bear is still around, causing all sorts of trouble. They manage to scoop up Liz after a quick fight with the bear, and they're on their way out in an ambulance. But that bear ain't giving up that easy, cause it jumps right into the dang ambulance with them. Chaos ensues, and poor Tom gets killed by the bear. Liz falls out of the ambulance and gets squished by the road, while Beth loses control of the ambulance and smashes into the tree. And to make matters worse, Beth flies right through the dang windshield to her death. Man, this whole situation is just getting worse and worse. So Sari and Henry are still trying to find Dee Dee, and wouldn't you know it, that crafty little girl left them a trail of paint to follow. That's one way to leave breadcrumbs. Meanwhile, David and Eddie finally make it to the gazebo, only to find Bob there, already with the stash of cocaine. And then, out of nowhere, that darn bear shows up. But Bob's got a plan, because he distracts the bear with the bag of coke. Talk about a high-stakes game of fetch. But things take a dark turn when Sid himself shows up and shoots Bob. Apparently, Sid's got some bigwigs breathing down his neck to retrieve that cocaine. And he's not messing around. So Sari and Henry finally catch up with Olaf, who's still mourning poor Elsa. Olaf leads them to Didi, who's hiding out in the bear's cave. Can you believe it? But there's a twist. Turns out the bear is a mom, and there are two little cubs with her. Aw, how cute. Olaf heads out, but unfortunately, he runs into the bear and meets a pretty gruesome end. Rip Olaf. Meanwhile, Sid, Eddie, and David make their way to the cave, which leads out to a ledge behind the waterfall. And wouldn't you know it, the bear shows up just in time to spice things up. So Sari, Henry, and Didi decide to take the plunge into the water below. Eddie and David follow suit, but they've decided to leave the drug game behind and start a new life together. Good for them. Unfortunately, Sid is still fixated on that bag of coke in the cave. He shoots the bear, but the mama bear is not having any of it. She attacks Sid, and his gut gets ripped open by the bear and her cubs. Ouch. Talk about a rough day. Meanwhile, Stash manages to hitchhike all the way to New York with a duffel bag full of cocaine. Hopefully, he's not planning on dropping it from a plane anytime soon. On the bright side, Eddie and David decide to start fresh and reunite with Eddie's son. It's a heartwarming moment that makes you forget about all the craziness that just happened. If you enjoyed our review of Cocaine Bear, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with your fellow comedy and horror movie lovers. The hilarious and thrilling storyline will keep you on the edge of your seat as you follow the misadventures of a drug-filled bear and the people who cross its path. The performances from the talented cast, including Ray Liotta and Kerry Russell, are simply amazing. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more entertaining movie news, reviews, and discussions. Thanks for being part of the Real Savan community, and we can't wait to bring you more spine-tingling and laughter-inducing movie experiences next time.